Hi guys, this is Life in Austria with Informa. A big welcome back to my channel. But if this is your first time coming onto my channel, I would advise you to watch all my videos, like, subscribe to my channel, and also click on the notification bell so that you can get notifications whenever I upload a new video. Welcome, I'm very sure you're going to love it here. And on the other hand, let's make a toast. Cheers to 1000 subscribers. We're 1000 strong here on YouTube, and it's been my joy to come on all of you on this journey. Thank you so much for coming along with me on this journey. Thank you so much. I appreciate 1000 of you. Thank you, and I hope that at the end of the day that we all get what we want and what we wish for and what we are here for on this channel. So cheers. I look forward to sharing more with the community and just enjoying the process overall. Now to the main issue on hand today. Did you know, are you aware that you don't always have to start your bachelor's degree from scratch when you're moving from a third world country to a European country, or even also from a European country, but you don't always have to start your bachelor's degree from scratch. There is a way to transfer your credit unit points from your current university to the university you want to attend in Europe. So I'm going to give you a practical example because this is what I did when I was coming to Europe. I transferred my credit unit points from my university in Nigeria to the university I wanted to attend to in Austria. So stay on this video if you are someone who has already gained admission to a university and you want to move to Europe, you want to move to Austria, but you don't want to start afresh. You don't want to start your bachelor's degree from the beginning, and you also don't want to wait in your country till you complete the bachelor's degree before you move or before you relocate. So for example, if you're someone, if your parents, for example, are relocating due to work, and because you're already started university, maybe you're in your second year, you're in your first year, you're in your third year, you're in your final year, and you don't want to leave the progress you've already made in your home country, so you're looking for a way to move, to relocate without having to start your bachelor's degree from scratch, then this video is for you. Please stay on this video with me. Let's dive deep into how I was able to achieve this. So in this video, I'm going to basically explain how it works, the challenges you're going to encounter, the documents you're going to need, the requirements in order to transfer your credit unit points from a university in a third world country in Africa to a university in Europe, in the US, in Asia, depending. But basically, I'm going to be using the example of Europe, Austria in particular, because this is the country I used while processing my own documents. So just wait on and hold on, and let's dive deep into this. In the first part of the video, we're going to be basically explaining what does this mean. So it's called lateral entry, or Quereinsteiger in German, if you're moving to a German speaking country. So what is lateral entry student? Lateral entry student is a student who transferred his or her credit unit points from their initial university to another university. So it's called lateral entry or credit transfer. Exactly. So who qualifies for this kind of admission? It's called a lateral entry admission. So who qualifies for this kind of admission? Anyone who is already admitted into a university, anyone who already has an admission in a recognized university is qualified to gain a lateral entry admission, which means a university transfer of your credit points, your credit units from your previous school to the school you intend to go to. So what is the advantage of this? Basically, it saves you money, it saves you time. You don't have to start afresh, you don't have to lose the years you have already spent studying in your home country, and that is why this is good. But on the other hand, it also has its disadvantages, because usually when you want to apply for an admission in a European university, you just basically fulfill the requirements, gather your documents, and submit. But on this other hand, it's going to take a little longer, because the university you intend on going to, they have to take their time to review your transcripts, to review your records from the current school you're already attending, in order to know if you really qualify to transfer into their own school. So that's the disadvantage on the other hand. So what are the requirements you need for this lateral entry admission or credit transfer to a European university. First of all, you have to fulfill all requirements that are needed for a normal admission. So whatever requirements that is needed for a normal admission, if you're starting afresh, you need to fulfill these requirements. And in addition to that, then you have to submit your transcript of records from the current school you are going to. So what does that mean? You have to request your transcript from the academic board or whoever is in charge of transcript of records in your school, in your current university. And with this transcript of records, you must have fulfilled or completed 90 ECTs, 90 credit units, in order to be considered by the European university. And what does this mean? If you're someone who is already in the university, who is already enrolled in the university, for example, in Nigeria, you know that every course you take in a semester has a credit unit load. Some are 2 credit units, 3 credit units, 4 credit units, or even 1 credit unit. So if you add all the credit units you have currently done in your current university, it must add up to 90 ECTs. And averagely in a semester in Nigeria, people take on about 30 credit units in a semester, some less, 24, 26, or even as low as 20 sometimes. So you have to calculate this. For example, if averagely you take 25 credit units in a semester, that means you have to have completed at least 4 semesters in order to be able to be eligible to apply for credit unit transfer to a European university. So in my case, well, let me start from the beginning first. So the other downside of this is that some of the courses you offered in your current university might not be acceptable to the European university you are going to. For example, in my case, I had some courses I took in my first year, chemistry courses, biology courses, which were not relevant to the course I wanted to study in the European. So I wanted to study computer science basically, and according to them, chemistry and biology is not relevant to computer science. So for this reason, they were not considered when they were calculating how many credit units load I have already completed in my current university. So whatever useless course you partook in your current university in Nigeria or whatever country you are in before moving to a European country, it will not be considered. So because of that, some of these credit units were not added. They were not considered while calculating my 90 ECTs that is required for me to be able to transfer to a European university in Austria. So basically, you have to calculate all from your first year. For example, if you're in your 3rd year currently, you have to calculate from your first year to your 3rd year. How many credit units loads have you completed? So 90 is the required, but I would advise to get at least 110 for you to be able to reach the cutoff mark. Another thing is, for me, my 1 credit unit load in Nigeria is considered as or let me just say 1 credit unit load in Europe was considered as 1.5 credit units in Nigeria. So for example, in order to get a credit unit load in Nigeria, I have to complete 1.5 here in Austria. So everything I did in Nigeria is considered less than in Europe. So I needed a total of 110 ECTs in order to do this transfer instead of the normal 90 ECTs. If you are also studying in the European framework, for example, if you are from other European countries, it is not a problem, because every credit unit you have in your university will be considered the same according to the next country you are going to. But if you are coming from an African country or a third world country, then you know that 1 ECT in Europe is 1.5 ECT in your own country. So that is something else you have to put into consideration. So if you're in your 2nd year, it might not be possible for you to reach this benchmark, because I don't think in your 2nd year you should have been able to study up to 110 credit units points. In addition to the transcript of records, you also need to show a proof of enrollment, a proof of admission. In the case of Nigeria, you need to submit your JAM admission letter to them to show that you are actually lawfully admitted into a university. On the other hand, you also show your secondary school certificate, your O-level, be it your WAEC or NECO or whatever. Then it is also required that you legalize these documents according to the standard of admission in Austria. So it's not just for people who are going with lateral entry admission. For every, it doesn't matter whether bachelor's or master's, you must legalize your documents. But one thing I have to warn you against is that before the legalization, you should make sure this transcript is approved, and it is approved that you have your complete 90 ECTs in order to make the transfer before you do this legalization. Because if you legalize and then later the school says, okay, you don't have up to 90 ECTs, you should study for one more semester in order to make up to 90 ECTs in your home country, that means you will have to legalize the transcript again after completing the 90 ECTs that you need. So what you have to do is, most times you send an email. You have to send an email to admissions office or whatever school you intend on going to, and they would refer you to the department in charge. In my case, they referred me to the dean of the academic affairs in the computer science department. So I was referred to the dean, and the dean was the one in charge of going through my transcripts in order to confirm and approve whether I am qualified for a credit unit transfer. So after I had to send an email to the dean, after a few communication back and forth, he was then able to approve that, okay, I have gathered up to 90 ECTs in order to qualify for this credit lateral entry transfer. So most of the time you need to be at least in your third year in order to qualify for this, depending on how much your school curriculum bears in the semester. And also for this lateral entry, that doesn't take away the fact that you also have to have a level of German if the course you are studying in the European country is in German or in another language. For example, in my case, in Austria, German is widely spoken. German is the official language, and the computer science I also applied for is also in German language. Even though I studied in Nigeria in English and I was qualified for lateral entry, I also have to fulfill the requirements for the German language. So for that reason, I was given the option to take a supplementary exam. I will study German for 2 years and take a supplementary exam to qualify for the C1 certificate before I can then commence with this lateral entry admission. So basically this is how it works. So it doesn't take away the fact that if you are failing in other areas, you still need to take supplementary examinations in order to meet up. They also have supplementary examinations in mathematics, physics, if they believe that your results from your O level and from your university transcript of records are also not up to scale to what is demanded by the European framework. Then they will give you supplementary exams, which is called Vorstudienlehrgang. Please pardon my German. It's called Vorstudium. So you have to study these subjects wherever you're failing. You study them for a semester or 2 semesters. Then you write the exam. Once you pass the exam, then you will be qualified to start with your main degree. So what is the cost and timeline? The good thing is that this lateral entry admission doesn't cost more than the normal admission. So you're not paying them to evaluate your transcript. It's done by the academic unit of whatever course, whatever department you're applying for, whatever major you're applying for. So you don't need to pay extra because of the lateral entry admission. You pay the normal fees you would pay for a normal admission. And for the timeline, usually it takes them also a little more than the normal admission periods. For example, the Technical University of Vienna, which I applied for, takes 10 to 12 weeks to evaluate your documents and offer you an admission or not. So, but in this case, they need at least, let's say, 4 more weeks. So it's advised that you submit your application on time if you want to apply as a lateral entry student. For example, the winter semester is already too late, but for summer semester starts in March, and admission process starts in October. Immediately the winter semester starts. So if you're someone who wants to go for lateral entry, it's not advised that you wait till January, because then January the timeline will be too small. So it's advised that if you want to start summer semester in March as a lateral entry student, by October of this year you should already have submitted your application, or latest November of this year. So this gives them more time to evaluate your documents, evaluate your transcripts, and see if you are qualified to get an admission through this lateral entry or credit unit transfer. being a transfer student, a credit unit transfer student, or a lateral entry student in Austria is very possible, and also in other European countries it is very possible. You just have to be prepared. You have to prepare your documents on time, make sure you fulfill all requirements, and submit an application as early as possible. If I can do it, you can do it. It's very possible, and it saves you time. That's the best thing. That's the best thing. It saves you time. For someone who has started a bachelor's degree already in your home country and you don't want to waste time, you know, completing the bachelor's degree before coming to Europe for masters, or you don't want to lose the years you've already studied in bachelor's degree by starting afresh here. So this is the best opportunity for you. This is the best chance for you if you're such a person. And I really wish you luck, and I hope that maybe in summer semester you would be able to achieve your goals. So thank you so much for watching my video. And if you want to know how to apply for the normal admission, which is not lateral entry or credit unit transfer, I have a video also on how to apply and gain admission in Austria as an international student. You can check my videos, watch them, like, subscribe. I love you and I wish you the best. Bye.